Hello, hello. Okay. Microphone. Nice to be back again. Always thank you for your time. Hello, hello. Yeah, thanks for joining again. Hello, hello to everyone. What's up? What's good? Yeah. Luckily, a lot of good things. Busy, but still good. How's your day been? Pretty packed. I was running from one appointment to the other, and yeah, now I'm here. So still after a long day, the Monday is set in stone. No excuses. We are sitting here and doing this straight 2 hours from now, like always. At yesterday, my first one-on-one session, 1-to-1 session, face-to-face, however you want to call it. And it was very lovely because I was always thinking about doing this. But yeah, I was a bit insecure, to be honest, and I was a bit okay, am I the right person to give people these kind of, let's say, sessions? But yeah, I thought, okay, I think I know what I know. I'm very confident with my experience and everything I can share with you. So I thought okay, it's a good point to start, especially after all the live stream things with all of you, which definitely was also a win-win again so a big win for me was to get confident doing this, and talking about these kind of things like production and everything so easily. So made the things very easy. So now first 1-to-1 session was good. Unfortunately a bit longer than I thought, but it was my fault. So but in the end it was a good session. So the person was happy, and yeah, we already made another date, and yeah. So if you want to have a one-on-one session, just let me know. I mean, right now I'm pretty, let's say, my schedule is pretty empty so far for the one-to-one sessions. So I have the time. And yeah, I'm taking the time. I'm taking the time. We arranged like 2 hours yesterday, and then we talked. It took like in the end 4 hours, because I was talking a lot about production things, but also things in general. Also think maybe why I would love to do this, let's say, only talking podcast, like only talking live stream maybe as well. But I'm already also giving a lot of insights here in the live stream. So my personal thoughts about, let's say, music and trends and stuff like this. And my opinion is that, like, telling only, or let's say it like this, I think it's not the right way. If somebody's doing that, totally fine, feel free, but it's not my way. I don't want to do that. I don't see the people as like a product or like a customer, Of course, in the end, it is kind of a customer, but I don't want to see them as that, and I prefer to take a bit more time, but to explain it in a bit more detail, to give the people who are coming to the sessions a bigger picture, because I could do it like this. You're booking, let's say, one-to-one session, you're coming to me, and we are like saying, okay, let's do a track. You're opening your project, and I will tell you, okay, do this, do that, show me this track, okay, yeah, go make it like this, throw out this EQ, throw out the equalizer, what I don't know, and I could give you there's this example of showing people how to I don't know, what's a good example, whatever, fishing, like, you can show, I can I can like catch fishes for you, and give you these fishes, but I can also show you how to fish, and to give you a bigger picture and to explain you, I don't know, the details, I don't know, what is the best technique, what is this, why is that like this, I think this is the better way in the end. So I love to take the time to explain people more, and not only like, okay, I have 2 hours, let's go. So yeah, thank you very much, 2 hours, here's the invoice, bye. I don't like that, because of course in the end the people are customers in a way, but I've told, I've said that yesterday to the person who did the one-to-one session. I don't want to say any names, but I don't know if the person wants to have this or not. It's free for everybody. But I try to keep these things. I don't know. I don't want to say any names. So if the person wants to say her name, whatever, feel free. But yeah. So I said that to the person. In the end, you know, I've did this all these tracks of the month thing, and I thought that I think I explained that last week. I was digging so much for music, like every month it become more and more hours, but as well more and more frustrating because you were like digging 9 hours of music, but in the end, you know, in the beginning it was like 4 hours or something, but you didn't like, it was not like you had like more tracks, you know, in your card, you know, it was like you digged like the double amount of time for even like less tracks, because it's so crazy how many or how much music is coming out, you know. And I love to explain to people a bit more, because I hope, you know, that the people that, especially the, let's say, younger people, and let's say the starting people who are now getting into production and they want to make the next steps, you know. And then you have these, unfortunately, these sessions from providers, you know, where you like where they are showing you productions, and it's shown by people, don't get me wrong, they're totally deserved on their level, you know, and they're famous or known for a reason, you know, don't get me wrong, I respect everybody for their approach, you know, even in a commercial direction, I respect these people, it's totally fine, everybody can do whatever they want to do, feel free, you know, but it's very dangerous because it's somehow destroying, let's say, the side on production, you know, because people are unfortunately copying this tips and sounds or production ways or whatever, because the people are known, and you think like, okay, yeah, these people are known for a reason, and they're very, yeah, famous in a way, and I have to do that, so it has to be right what they are doing production wise. But if you just like take your time to really dive deep into production, you will and you really learn how to listen really like properly to tracks, and you can really separate good productions from bad productions, you will get disappointed really quickly. Disappointed, yeah. So because you can hear, okay, that's not technically correct, you know, but it's working. But why is it working? Understanding the process, but in the end, understanding the craft. I've met so many DJs. We will start right now in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something like this. Also said that yesterday. That's the same thing with DJing. Like, I'm doing all this advancing stuff for the third room, and unfortunately, really, like, a lot of people, a lot of artists, they don't know their craft. It's like, don't get me wrong, they're really good DJs and selectors, you know, but when I started to DJ, you know, I also started with just DJing and trying to, the first steps of course have been like, okay, how to pitch a track, how to, I don't know, to beat match track, whatever, you know, like how to do gain staging. What is gain staging? Some people even don't know that, but you know, so these things. And then I started to dig deeper, you know, and read more about these topics and what is Like, for example, what is gain staging? Why do you need gain staging? And I don't know, like, what is in this mixer? I also gave these one-to-one sessions in DJing with CDJs. And why are these knobs on this mixer? And what are they doing? And which knob is really like affecting what in the track? And you know, so I started to go more into this technical stuff and to understand the things behind that and to go really into the detail. And a lot of people, unfortunately, when you're talking to the people, again, respect to everybody who's known for that and who's on a high, let's say, level, and people know you for your DJ sets, whatever, you have made it as one of the big players. Again, totally respect, because they made it, and that's fine. And if they're happy doing that, what they're doing, also fine. But my personal goal, and I'm just talking about myself, is always to go into the detail and to understand what is behind everything, like production. You know, I don't want to just produce tracks because I want to produce tracks. I want to make music, of course, because I love music, but I also want to get better from week to week from track to track to track. I want to get better. And how I make it to get better, I'm like doing try and error. I'm sending tracks to people. I'm asking for really constructive feedback. They're giving me hard constructive feedback. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to dig what's the problem? What is the technical process behind that? Why is this sounding that bad? You know, for example, like low end. Often a topic here in tracks of the month, like feedback loop, you know? So I want to understand, why is my low end sounding that muddy? Or what can I do? So first of all, why is it muddy? And if you understand it, why it is muddy, you get into the process of how I can avoid to have a muddy sounded low end, for example. And so I started to, I've read books, you know, about mixdown mastering. I've read like blogs, everything. I also had these mixdown one-on-one sessions as well. I've paid a lot of money for it, and it was totally fine. A few of them, they haven't been good, but doesn't matter. I've made them, and it was like, okay, I see, like, where is my standard? And that's so I could compare in a way, you know. Of a few of them, I haven't like learned anything. From others, I've learned a lot of things. And that's the thing. Like I said about DJing, a lot of people, they don't know their craft. You have to know your craft. Production, DJing. Holy shit, it's not that complicated. A few people don't know how to plug in a CDJ into a mixer. Like, they need tour managers to plug in their FX pedals into mixers. It's totally fine. Also, like I said, but no hate, but guys, come on, like. So it's like, I don't know if they don't know it, you know, but I know that a lot of people, they don't know their craft. A lot of people have this I had this discussion so often with the Allen and Heath, like Soul 96 and Soul 92. A lot of people, they're like riding in their tech riders. I don't want to play on the 96. And then you're asking like, okay, give me an explanation why. I just want to have an explanation. If you give me a proper explanation, let's talk about it, because it's always really complicated on Stone Techno with transitions, because small stages, intimate stages, we can't really like, you can't have mixers underneath the booth and everything, and transitions are complicated, you know. So you are trying to avoid it, and you are like trying to keep the setups pretty easy, you know. And that was all in the beginning of the 96. That was a big discussion. Still a few, but it's getting better, you know. But I've asked people, what is the difference between 92 and 96? So I know the difference, but I want to hear why they are people. So if somebody would give me a proper explanation why they are choosing especially the 92, I would give it to them, you know. But people told me like, yeah, I've always problem with the 96. It's, I don't know, it's always making problems. It sounds bad. And I'm like, I don't know, to be honest. So what is sounding bad? Yeah, in this club it sounded bad. Yeah, maybe it's the PA. I don't know. Yeah, it's always making problems. Yeah, you won't have any broken mixer on our festival. Like, we are really like taking care of that, and we are really like focusing on stuff. Of course, things are happening. Like, of course, you will have also broken mixers on a festival. You know, you can't avoid that. But you know, you're like booking, I don't know how many Allen and Heaths. And of course, there's maybe one broken mixer after 3 days of a festival and 3 nights. Can happen, you know. But then you are exchange. You know, our provider for DJ equipment, they are proving everything before the festival, and in the end, it's working. So give me a proper explanation. Why do you want to have this? And it's totally fine. I had this discussion with these techniques, M5G. MK7 is all like, in general, it's like declined from all the people. Nobody wants to play on the MK7. What's okay, I don't have any problems with that, you know. But most of the people who are playing vinyl, they want to have this 16 plus pitch. But there are DJs who are saying, I don't want to have this M5G because, I don't know, it makes problems. I'm not a vinyl DJ, so I'm not that into techniques. But you know, techniques. So the thing is, if somebody I had very good explanations by vinyl DJs who told me like, yeah, I'm really like playing, I love to play on this because it's of that and this reason, you know, because the pitch is not working properly, whatever, you know. And you know, then you are like reading in blocks and you see, okay, the person is right. I get that. So yeah, okay, fine. I will give you the MK5. No worries. It's fine for me. I've understood the reason. I like gray plates rather than silver. Yeah, you know, really, like these explanations are sometimes really, I don't know. I could start now with Pioneer and V10, but in general, I think the club standard is a bad standard sound-wise, because I think the Allen and Heath and the V10, they should not be the standard, but other topic would be really, yeah, I would open a really big discussion with that. I'm not, to be honest, I'm playing on the Allen and Heath, but if I could choose it, I wouldn't do it. Honestly, I would play on a complete different mixer than these two mixers, but totally fine. So, 728. Who's new? Who needs the rules? Let me know. I would love to hear that. The rules are super easy. So we'll tell you. So, we're starting with Leo. Hello, by the way, Leo, and all the other people who have already wrote in the chat. Lovely to have you here. Here, rules. Yes, I will start now. So, rules, super easy. You send tracks. I will listen to, and then you will get feedback. Everybody will get 10 minutes. straight. And in these 10 minutes, we will listen to the track, plus I will give feedback. Also, the community will give feedback. Important, I don't give feedbacks to people who are not taking part on the live stream. So if you want to get a feedback, please be online during your track. You don't even have to be on the whole live stream, but on your track, it would be good if you like take these 10 minutes to listen to your track plus the feedback. So Ivan, sorry, but we didn't make a track last week because I want to keep it strict, you know? Same rules for everybody. Yeah. So everybody's getting 10 minutes. I will listen to the tracks in these 10 minutes, plus I will give feedback. And I will try, because I already talked like 30 minutes, I will try to keep it as short as possible. If you have questions or something is unclear or whatever, let me know. We are online on Instagram and YouTube. So don't be confused if I like talk about something and you think, who wrote that? So there's a YouTube channel. You can join the YouTube stream. I would definitely recommend that because YouTube is much better. The sound quality is better. And I think also YouTube is much easier because you don't have to hang on your phone the whole time. Close this, like take it, throw it in the corner, your smartphones, turn up the TV, smart TV. I don't know if you have smart TV with YouTube or like go on the PC, on the Mac, whatever. Turn on YouTube and join us on YouTube because it's definitely better. Also, you can put headphones. It's definitely better to have headphones. Instagram is sorry, but it's totally shit. Instagram has to do something about about a lot of things on the stream. Like for example, the main thing, sound. Sound is absolute gross on Instagram. Because I think it's also making the sound mono, which is like that's completely stupid, but not a topic. So we're starting with Leo. He's the first one on the list. Leo is already here. I think I saw him already. I mean, Leo's mostly on both on Instagram and on YouTube. So Leo's the first one. And then we will go track for track. I will stream till 21. Yeah, German. Thank you very much. Like till 9 p.m. CET. So the last track will be started before 9 CET. And until the clock is over 9 CT, that was the last track. That's the new, by the way, there's going to be a new rule because I have to really limit that. I will think about like another live stream thing and we can talk about things and topics about the industry because I really have a lot of experience and I can really share a lot of things without dropping any names. But there's so much things I can really share with you. And I would love to share that because I think it's also important to give people like insights about this industry. Nothing like, it's not like going to be like a boulevard, like, you know, like boulevard newspaper, shit talk, whatever stuff, like, you know, it's going to be really like, it's going to be about the important things in music industry. So production, how maybe also to aim your music career, whatever, things like that. I would like to share my experience. I've like collected over the last 15 years. 15 already, fucking yeah. Like no, even longer, 15, 16 years. I started with 18, so I'm now getting 34, so long time. So I have made a lot of experience in these 16 years, and I really would love to share these things with you, because it took me a long time to make all these experience. And I mean, I can really like share these experiences with you, and you can really like save tons of time, you know. Okay, let's start with the first track. Let's not waste too much time again. So if somebody's writing something on YouTube, I will read it for the people on Instagram and other way around, so everybody's in the loop. So let's start. Already like 35. Let's not waste too much time anymore. So Leo, you're here? Yeah, you're here. Okay, let's start with your track, my friend. Kick might be a bit too woody. Just like an interesting woody. I think the problem with the kick is, again, we have a lot of things happening on the sides in a lower frequency spectrum. That is what I had the feeling in the beginning in this intro. Hölzern, yeah. Maybe it is because of that. Hölzern. Yeah. But I like I said, I think it's because of the side signals in the low end. Also, the low end is very like thick, but that I think they're like missing the cut on the sides. in the lower frequency spectrum. That's my feeling, because I hear a lot of things here, you know, on the sides. Here should be like really mono. One of those tracks to hold the crowd, yeah. Yeah, I like the idea again, yeah. Idea's nice. But you can also hear it on the heads. The heads are not coming through. They're really like really quiet. So you need to like lower down the low end to get more highlight on the heads, so to create more space on the higher frequencies again. So my suggestion, recommendation on this track, I like the idea, so that's nice, but I think I wouldn't say that the low end is too loud, maybe. I think the problem is, and that would be something you have to check, there's really like happening a lot of things in the sides, in the lower frequency spectrum. Kill it, so like cut it away, the sound side signals, because it's really like rolling, wobbling, flowing around, you know, and that creates really this mud, and it's creating like this. Also, it caused problem with the kick. Somebody wrote the kick sounds woody, like Heul sound woody. Yeah, I think because, and I wouldn't add like a transient shaper. Don't do that to like. You're again trying to fix a problem, you know, with adding something. I'm always a fan, and I think it's always the way to go. Adding things, like try to avoid adding too much things. That was also the thing yesterday in the 1-to-1 session. Don't overload your projects. Really, it's less is more. It's really important. Less is more. So it's always better to lower down, or to erase is the wrong word, but to take something away from one track, from one sound, then adding something to another one. Sounds same, but it's completely different. In a production-wise way, it's completely different. Adding is always causing more problems than it solves it. So, of course, if you are like lowering down frequency stuff like this, it can also cause problems. But my opinion is, and my experience is, that if you add something, you will cause problems on other side of the track, and you have to fix that again. And then you're adding again something else to another track to like highlight this one and to make it sound better, and then it causes problems on the other side again. Then you're trying to adjust your transient shaper to get like more punchy kick, and then the low end sounds muddy, or it's not coming through. You're like adding more volume to the sub bass, because you think, okay, I can't hear the sub bass anymore because the kick is too present, and you're like causing again a woody sounding kick, you know. So it's always adding things causes problem on other stuff, you know. It's always that's the thing, balance. So it's always, you know, so if you like add something on one side, it's going, so it's again like the balance is so it's getting out of balance, you know. If you put more weight on this side, it's going down, you know, other way around. So it's, you know, so it's getting out of balance. It's going up here and it's going down here. So group the drum and make them work together. Once the drums shine together, you have a good perspective to make melodies, pads, mid-range work with the groove. Group the drum and make them work together. Once the drums shine together, you'll have a good perspective to make melodies and pads work with the groove. Okay, I didn't understand it, but I think it wants, so group the drum, like so kick and the percussive elements like hats and everything, or how do you mean it? That's how I understand it. So like you're going to balance the drums first. Am I right? It's a good idea, Leo, definitely. Makes sense. Yeah, in a way, of course. So if you have a balanced drum set, because you have all these frequencies spectrum, so you have the overall frequency spectrum in drums. You have the kick, lower end, you have toms, you can tune down toms, and you have a sub bass, of course, and you have toms happening in the mid range, and I don't know, claps or whatever. Then of course you have hi-hats. Of course, if this sounds balanced, of course you have you are creating balance. But then adding on top of that synthesizers, that's also, of course, you have kind, let's say, of a blueprint or something, but still, of course, you can still ruin the mix afterwards, you know. But hey, however you are getting to the right result, it's the right way. So in the end, it's important to get a balanced sounding track. And if you want to start with the drums and you're making a drum group and you're working there and creating a balance in the drums and then adding other things, okay, go for it, totally fine. When I did the band recording, we make the same thing, kind of, you know, because you are recording the drums, everything together, building up a group, and then you're working in this group. So it's kind of, let's say, yeah. How you group things is totally up to you, I think. There's no way to go. I think it also depends on the material, it depends on the project and everything. I'm, for example, working in frequencies, so I'm working from low end to high end. So I have a group working on low end frequencies. I have a group working only on mid range frequencies. I have even this kind of project where I have low end, mid low, high low, high mid. Low mid, high frequencies. You know, you can also do it like this. Doesn't matter. However you come to the result, to the right result, to the correct result, totally fine. So of course, if you balance the drums, it's great. You have a good, let's say, bass, but still, I mean, it's still you still have to keep and good ear on the mid sounds like synths and everything else. Because I think it depends on, I said that several times, I think drums and percussive elements, they should be more supporting than leading. Of course, there are tracks where percussion's taking the lead in the sound, like for example, Farah's, I forgot how was the name of the track, or these old Plastic Man track, I also forgot the name of the track. I'm very bad with track names. But there are a few ones where you have really this lead, where the percussive sound is taking over the lead. And it is the lead sound and the main theme of the track. But still, main themes in tracks should be taking the lead. So they should be more upfront. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay, thank you very much, Leo. I think, did we forget something? Check the sides, mate. Like, I think there's much more potential with the kick and the transient of the kick. That I think really this side mutt wobbling thing is really like causing problems. Also, if this track is inspired by one of your artists, listen to the track and use it as a reference for mixdown. Also, if this track is inspired by one of your artists, of your favorite artist, by one of your artists. What is your opinion on pianos? Okay, like I don't have any problem with any instrument. Pianos are also very nice. I'm using pianos for chord sounds, stuff like this. Totally fine. Or what do you mean with pianos? I think piano is not easy element to implement. It depends on everything. Is like you can ruin everything, or you can ruin every instrument. Not only pianos. It's always. I had this topic yesterday. I could like talk about that really long. I don't want to extend it. So maybe on another point, maybe you can remember me after this session. But there's a big topic about that. I had this yesterday in the one-to-one session. I could share that with you, but that would be too much now. Like I said, we had 2 hours yesterday, but we made 4 out of it. So could be very long explanation now. So let's not go too much into it, but I think you can ruin every instrument easily. But you can also work with every instrument very easily. It's just a way of how you get or how you work with the sound, with a certain sound and with a certain instrument. You have to understand, and that's also understand the craft. You have to understand everything behind sound and how sound is created, where sound is coming from, how if you like touch the piano with a high, like really low attack, and you have this really short attack and it's coming through, so you have a really high transient and everything. You have to know how to control the peaks and stuff like this. Would be too much now, but it is always depends on the material. Thank you very much, Leo. Hassan took part last week. I think it is you, Hassan, right? On YouTube. Hassan CD is right? I also saw you on Instagram, I think. It's Hassan, right? Yeah, here, Hassan. So are you on YouTube and on Instagram? Or is Hassan CD somebody else? No, right? Doesn't matter. You're here, right? Yeah, we're here. Good. Let's start with your track. 10 minutes from now, my friends. Let's go. Leo, I hope you're happy with your feedback. Or is there something you need? Love you guys. Okay. I think that's a yes. Yes, I was here for a few weeks ago too. I know, I remember. I was asking if it's Hassan and then you told me it's Hassan, so I remember, yeah. Both me, yeah. What the sub bass is really too thick. It's really too loud. Yeah, the track isn't mixed down well. Yeah, the low ends. You can't really hear the transient of the kick. It's just so. Should be boom, 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 boom. I can remember your track wasn't that bad last week, for 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure anymore, but it was not bad. Oh, you definitely have to check the transients on these sounds, like this beep, 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 and this background. It's there are a few transients sharping out. Oh, sorry, yeah, sure. But I think also the track is a bit low volume. Let me know if that's okay. Okay, nice. It is a track Nobu would play it, you know? Really, these kind of bit psychedelic, kind of bit like raw, dirty. I like this kind of sound, but this is definitely what the mix. So the mix is really out of balance. The mids are, I would say, a bit too. They're maybe, yeah, a bit too loud, but also problematic are these peaks coming through from the certain sounds. The kick is not coming through, the sub bass is really like eating up the kick. It's really like squeezing it. Yeah, the heads are a bit too distant, yeah, but that's because of low end, again, balance. So that's the problem. It's too much here, you know, so you can't get the proper result here. Yeah, the idea is nice. I like it. It's really hard to say anything else about the track. So the idea is nice, the low end is way too much, and these two synthesizers, SFX sound, whatever, lead sounds, this main theme and everything is a bit too harsh, peeking out with its transients. So definitely mixdown session. Intelligent Cascadia. I like the idea. So yeah, idea's nice. I really can imagine that this track could really work good if it's mixed clean. Could be played also from DuxJ. Yeah, could be. I really see somehow like Nobu playing this track, or also Oscar. He's also a fan of this kind of music. Goes into this really like, tunnel, roughy kind of psychedelic techno. Nice. So, like I said, idea's good. It's really nice. Do the mix down again. So do a proper mix down session, because sub is really kind of way too loud, squeezing the kick, and therefore the kick can't really have its space to work and to come through. It's really like this, the punch is missing, but also the low end of the kick is missing completely. It's not coming through because everything is getting eaten up by the sub, and the rest also doesn't work because of the loud sub. You try to make the mids a bit louder to come through, but that causes somehow really harsh transients, and the heads are not coming through because they're getting ducked by everything else. So definitely checking it out. Mixdown session will happen soon. I know the sub is heavy, but like this, the way to is. I like the squelchy the way to is. Probably some glue will fix control the transient. 2 minutes. So I understand what you mean, but so the thing is, of course I understand what you mean. You want to have this, and it's totally fine. Like I said, I like the idea, but the thing is, there are like physical, physical rules, specs, which you can't like avoid. So, or you have to take a look on specific things. Like for example, the sub. If you like louden it up, it eats up the kick, so you don't have the kick. If you play this track now, for example, like this in a club, it won't work because it's too much. It's eating up the whole room, because also low end is moving differently on PAs and everything. That's also something you have to keep in mind. And it's really like owning the room, and it's filling up the room, and the rest is not working. The room is getting muddy, and most of the clubs, they have a really bad sound, or what means like they don't have proper room acoustics and stuff like this. Therefore, the sound is not always on point. Most of the times, unfortunately, not good. Then you have, of course, on top bad PAs sometimes. A lot of lack of knowledge on the people who are like installing it, or who are like really setting the PAs up and everything. There are a lot of things, and you can't change anything on that, but what you can change is your sound and your track. So make your track as clean as possible and as balanced as possible, and you will get definitely a complete different result. And trust me, a good and clean sounding track, it doesn't matter on which PA you are playing it, it will sound good. So, if you have a good and balanced track, I said this example yesterday, and I will repeat it, and I don't give a fuck if it's on YouTube. So when I, for example, listen to tracks as a reference, for example, I really never take, I really like rarely take electronic music, techno music as a reference. Honestly, there are a few ones, like for example Luigi Tozzi, in my opinion, one of the best producers, idea-wise and production-wise. But of course there are a lot of good producers out there. But I'm aiming for another level, and I'm often looking at pop acts, for example. I'm even listening to Taylor Swift. To Taylor Swift tracks. I'm taking these tracks as a reference because these tracks are produced by professionals, people who are really like the best in the world. And I want to know why, and I'm listening to these tracks because doesn't matter stylistic wise, genre wise, what they're doing, if I like it or not, doesn't matter. Really, I'm that neutral, I can listen to stuff and I can really like blend everything out. What is not interesting in this moment. It's really focused on sound. And just if you listen to, let's say, Taylor Swift track on your phone, on headphones, it doesn't matter which ones, Apple AirPods, for example, or these ones by Biodynamic, or you're listening in a high-end studio, you're listening on a high-end PA sound system at home, whatever. The track will always sound good, okayish. If the sound, or even on the phone, it sounds okayish. You can hear everything properly. Every frequency, you can hear it properly. Why? Because it's mixed well. So, if you turn on your track and you listen to it on the phone, and half of the frequency is not coming through, it's not the phone. If you play a track in the baddest club on this planet Earth with the most shittiest PA, or you play it doesn't matter. It even on the best PA, perfect sounding room, whatever, it won't sound good. I've played several times at Gewölbe Cologne. In my opinion, one of the best sounding clubs in this region. I haven't been to Open Ground since 3 years, so I can't give any proper feedback about Open Ground. I wasn't that big fan of Open Ground sound wise. Now I don't know. I haven't been there. I've gave my feedback about that. But it's my opinion. So, but I'm more into this. Let's say, more into the sound thing than other people. Now I can say it. But Gewölbe, for example, is one of my personal favorites and one of the best sounding clubs in this region. And you will hear the difference between a bad mixdown and an okayish mixdown. Play Madonna, play Quincy Jones, for example, tracks on the PA. Play, like I said, play Taylor Swift, whatever. It will sound exactly on every sound system. It will sound good. It will even sound okay on one of the shittiest PAs on this planet Earth. But a bad mix won't sound good even on a really, really good PA. Because it's wobbling or whatever. Ahmed played at Elysia Basel. I wasn't there, I can't say anything about that. And he told me that was one of maybe the best PAs he heard. It was even too honest, but you heard a lot of things. So if you play tracks there which have been produced bad, you could hear it, and automatically the energy wasn't there. The energy was missing. It was really like an energy dip on the dance floor, a tension dip in the dance floor, because it caused problems. Low end is a big thing. If you have an overpresent low end, you can't hear shit about the rest of the track. You won't hear anything. Like the mids, the most important thing is what is going up, what is the theme of your track. That's important. this is telling the story, not the low end, not the high end, like the hi-hats and stuff like this. The kick, and so the low end, the bass and the kick, it's giving the groove. Also the high end is giving kind of the groove and rhythmic and the track. But the mid is telling the story. And if you don't hear the mid and you just hear the low end, throw the track into the bin. Fee Cologne, I wasn't there yet. I can't say anything about it. I heard a lot of good things about Fee. Can't say anything. If I will ever have the chance to see Fee from inside, I will give you a feedback, but I can't say anything. I can say about Cologne Gewölbe because I was there as a guest, but I was also there as a DJ, and both good. Sound on the dance floor, nice. Sound in the booth, lovely. Great one. This is a nice club. Even the vibe, lovely. I mean, it's a club open still, I think, since 20 years. Deserved, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, Hassan, thank you very much. But do you think there's more to mix down than the technical side to it? It's always the technical side, because most pop songs sound the same mixdown wise. Sound the same mixdown wise? I wouldn't say that. They sound balanced, yes, but that's not bad, to be honest. You know, and don't get me wrong, there are two things. Like, characteristic is one thing, you know. I know that people want to have this kind of characteristic, but again, they're really like major issues and mistakes. Really, just like, I don't know. If it is how it is, kind of, if you try to mix oil with water. Yeah, you can try it, but you won't make it. Like, it's not possible. I don't know if it's possible. It's really like maybe a bad example. But try to mix it. It's not possible. So there are things you can't, you have to check. So technically, you have to deliver a clean mix. Balance. It has to be balanced in a way. So if it's not, you will definitely have a problem, or not problems, but you won't have the effect you're aiming for. There's no character. That's wrong. There is character. You can always create character, because there is this kind of, let's say, characteristic of a sound. But still, I have, for example, distortion in my tracks. I love distortion, but there's a difference between distortion and the distortion. You know, you have to control the distortion. There's also a difference between saturation and saturation. You know, so you have to control these things still. And you can still have this effect that it sounds good and it sounds unique and it sounds balanced and everything else. You know? For example, I don't know, check Quincy Jones things, or check, you don't go only in one genre, for example. I'm digging on all genres, really. Like, I'm listening to heavy metal stuff, I'm listening to AC/DC, I have vinyls from AC/DC, old things, I have vinyls from The Doors, I'm buying tracks from I don't know who else, like remastered versions of tracks, I'm buying whatever. Motown stuff, I'm buying heavy metal, classic rock, country, whatever, pop music, EDM, even EDM. I'm listening to EDM music. I don't give a shit if it's like from the genre, if it's shitty music. Okay, I don't give, like, I want to know why it is that successful. You know, and then I'm trying to analyze it. That's the only thing. I try to not take it personal, you know, that's the thing. So, or I don't want to make it personal, because, yeah, in the end, genres All music is a matter of taste, of course, but again, these tracks which are like winning Oscars, they're winning Oscars for a reason. Film music, whatever, it is for a reason. Because there are people behind that who understand their craft. And they can produce you a techno track, they can produce you a heavy metal track. Check, I don't know, check all these famous people like Chris Lord Arch or Rick Rubin or whatever. If you check their references, you won't read like, okay, this guy is doing hip hop. All these famous people, all these big players, you can read their list of customers and you will see, oh, hip hop, oh, pop music, oh, country rock music, oh, hip hop, trap music, oh, electronic music. Like, they know, they found out the code, if you want to say it like this. And, you know, you can take this to every genre. Balancing a mix. It's about your ears. So again, extended explanation. No, I didn't mean you taking a portion. I mean, I'm not. That was wrong. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to put too much like of my personal taste into things. You know, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not. If I listen to music, I'm always trying to differ between taste and really technique. You know, that's the thing. I'm really like seeing tracks as I mean, I'm not playing Taylor Swift in my sets, you know, so that would be fucking funny, by the way. But, you know, Ophelia, you know, boom, boom. No, joking. But, you know, it's really, I'm listening to the tracks because I want to understand the technique behind it. And I'm really listening to these tracks, and sometimes I'm feeling like a creep, you know, opening up Wavelab, and then I'm like putting these tracks into my Wavelab project, and I'm really like opening Metric AB and checking the frequencies and spectrum and everything and psi correlation, and I don't know, and I'm really like, then I'm like, okay, what I'm doing here, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important. I just want to understand everything behind it because it's interesting as well. So that is what I meant. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really like. I don't. It's not. It doesn't matter if it's my personal taste or not. So thank you, Hassan. Ugo. Out there. Sorry again for talking too much. I hope you will bear with me. If you think it's not interesting, you can just write in the chat. I'm sometimes like losing myself. I'm getting lost, you know, having these monologues. So. Hugo, are you here? Let me know. Hello, Biarita. What's up, my friend? Ah, there is Hugo. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying just to explain. Maybe I always want to show the people the big picture. You know. I think that's very important. We are often hanging around in our bubbles, and we are I was also this kind of guy. I was too cool, I was never listening to pop music, stuff like this, because I was too cool. I was just listening to techno music. you know don't be like that, just like, I mean, it's music in the end, man. There are people who are passionate doing this stuff as well, and there are a lot of people behind. It's not only the artist who's doing the job. It's always, there are bands, passionate people, guitarists, like piano players, drummers, whatever. There are a lot of passionate people, and they all made it somehow to the point where they are because they have been passionate. They were working like tons of hours, and playing their instruments, or taking like time for the craft in production, whatever. And yeah, we can still do that. We are cool, and we won't get any further, like expand your horizon. Can you say it like this in English? Like, get out of your comfort zone. Don't look over the plate. I'm really like now all the German phrases on English, but I don't know if it's also in English. Doesn't matter. But you maybe get what I mean. So, it's good to not touch things and stay on the surface. Yeah, like I said, it's really like just always having, or always stay hungry, always stay always hungry, and try to get better from day to day and everything. There's so much good music out there. Absolutely, like there's so many good music. That was the reason why I was so fucking disappointed by electronic music from time to time, even from really known artists. It just one thing, because it doesn't matter, because it's not that much into our scene. But for example, Skrillex. I'm also listening to Skrillex stuff, But the last album, that what was that? It doesn't sound good. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, but it's not sounding good. What is this? There's so much money behind everything, and Skrillex is a big player, a big player. So there's you could take the money, and you could easily pay people to mix down this properly, and I don't know, maybe he did that, but it, from my opinion, it wasn't good. One of the, I said that example yesterday, for example, Vril, like Uli, Vril's album from this, I forgot this cover with the UFO. I'm listening to this album, and I'm really I'm so into these tracks. They're so emotional. They're telling stories, and I really can feel the story and all the emotions, because everything is coming through properly. You can hear every sound properly, Even if it's not perfect, but it's okayish. Totally, it's more than okayish, definitely, But of course, you will also find there a few mistakes, yes. But that's okay. You will also find mistakes in big productions. Skrillex for me used to be that guy with one of the best mixes. Maybe in the past, yeah. I'm not sure anymore, to be honest. I haven't listened to Skrillex old stuff for a long time. Okay, we are really I'm talking again too much. So, Hugo is there. Let's start with Hugo. 10 minutes from now. Let's go. We had this track last week, right? I can remember that we had this kind of housey vibe last week, right? This one is now louder, right? Yeah, I will go down with the volume a bit. Or is that fine? I think that should be okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, with the UFO, right? The cover with the UFO and the sun in the background. Can't identity. Wait. Give me a sec. Saturn is a supercomputer. Sorry, it wasn't a UFO. This one. From 24. A good one. I really like the album. Killer tracks on it, trust me. I'm listening to this album a lot when I'm working because I like to have more calmer sounds during work.
Reality doesn't exist outside you, it exists within you. It's a concept, it's a projection, it's a dream. There's nothing out here. Nothing. There actually is nothing at all. There is no outside, in a sense.
I think I can remember we had the problem with the low end also last week, right? Now it's better. I think you just... Have you used the low shelf on the low end? And if yes, how much? Maybe you have to bring back a bit more of the low end, but... I like that. I like the idea. It's nice. I like the track. No. What have you used for the sub? You just turned it down a bit, or what have you done? If you have a low cut on the sub bass, just take this equalizer, don't change anything, turn it off, copy, paste, and change the low cut to a low shelf and go -3 to -6 dB. Just check where you like it more and keep the sub a bit more. But can you hear it? The rest is really like coming through properly if you have a clean low end. And it's not too much. I just think that the sub bass could need a bit more juice, you know? So take just like really copy paste EQ, put it on the same track, change turn off the other EQ with the low cut, change the low cut from a low cut to a low shelf, -3, and then go down to -6, maybe even to -8. Check it out what you like more. But trust me, if you will get this, because it's going into this dub techno-ish, housey-ish direction, and you will really get that what dub techno needs. You know, this really body heavy low end, which is really like, which is really like breathing, and yeah, adding this juice into the track. Yeah, the track's nice. I like that very much. I can't say anything about the vocal. I really was focused on the low end on the album of Real. It's totally fine. I would say that's really, yes, I'm looking for that dubby-ish bass. Yeah, you will get this dubby-ish bass if you don't cut too much. I had this also yesterday, and the one-to-one session. You also have always to keep in mind that you can really cause problems with the tune as well if you cut too much. You know, so it also can change the tune of a track. You know, kind of. It depends on, you know. So, and even, you know, people are like producing their sub and kick, you know, and then they're really like going to this, and it's always the same problem, you know. They're starting with the kick and sub and everything sounds fine, and then they really go into this over processing, and in the end everything gets out of tune. Yeah, because if you like add an equalizer there and a compression there, and you like I don't know, low cut there or whatever, you also automatically change kind of the tune of the sound, and you have to retune it a bit. So careful, you know, if you do some things like that. But that's also a reason why I'm always saying less is more. Don't over pull your project. Don't overload your project with stuff. If you see how people in professional music productions are working, you won't see that much things. It's really easy. I also always overloaded my tracks until the moment I've started to work with bands and with people who are recording bands for years, and I was like, that's it? Really? What the fuck was I doing? Like, and equalizer and compression and another EQ, another compressor, multi-band, whatever. Like, just okay, let's try to somehow rebalance the track in a way. Really. Reminds me, a really nice track. Reminds me of stuff from old Dire Records catalog. Oh, that's a nice feedback. Cool track. I only have shitty earphones with me right now, so can't judge the mix. Sounds fine to me. Yeah. Just out of interest. Oh, you asked something. Wait, let me check. Just out of interest, do you know Moody Good? Moody Good? You know Moody Good? Also had a release on Osna 10 years ago, and for me, this guy is still so interesting. Moody, no. So Leo, it's like a voice from a meditation on YouTube. it's a voice from a meditation on YouTube. Nice. Headphones mixed it together. AirPods, yeah. That's what I thought. Love those esoteric lyrics. That's pretty smart, but I would be careful with copyright stuff in this point. So, thank you very much, Hugo. Like that. Just add more juice to the low end. I've explained how. Prowler. Oh yeah, 1 point. Bam, 10 minutes. Prowler. Where are you? Where are you? Where's Prowler? Let's go! Yeah, that's the spirit. Let's go! I'm here. Bum 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 bum. I don't know why, but I have to think about Scary Movie 2. You remember this scene? Holy shit. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Sounds like a shamanistic ritual right now in the background. Oof. Hopefully Prowler won't disappoint us with the part 2. Part 1 was good so far. Like it very much. Now you see this low end here with the sub. It's also loud, but it's not over present. So, oh, this one was peaky. Ooh, check the sound out in the mix. It was tweaking out, so crazy. It's nice so far, like that. Also with the heavy low end. Ayahuasca ritual gone wrong. Kind of. Snare isn't it a clap? Yeah, it could be a bit louder, but it's okay. I can still hear it. Bam, bam. It's a nice track, but part 2 is less powerful than part 1. Part 1 is really like, should be other way around, like part 2 as part 1 and part 1 as part 2. My opinion. Nice. So, yeah, in general, maybe, but it's really just a big maybe. But maybe you can keep it like this is totally fine with the low ends. Also, again, maybe the sub bass is just a bit, but that's something I would say as a mastering. If I would do the mastering, I would say okay, that's okay, because I can. The mix in general is balanced in a way, you know. So I could do. Maybe I would just lower down the lower frequencies a bit, maybe I don't know, like 25 hertz or something, maybe just 1 dB with a low shell, something like this, just to get this rumble kind of a bit under control. But that's everything. It's okay. So the snare, yeah, maybe if it's a snare clap, I don't know, maybe it could be a bit louder. It's not that problematic. I think it's okay. Yeah, part 1 is great. Part 2 is kind of, yeah, that was the thing I said. Like, you have really strong part 1, and then part 2 is really like more a long outro of part 1. You know, so if you would change it, or you add even something more powerful to part 2 to round up the story, would be great. But that's it. I think that's a good track. Really cool track, as usual. Great change though. The drum maybe a bit high and add like 10 kilohertz. Yeah, also not that problematic. Edible in the mastering. For me, it seems like everything's slightly low passed. Slightly low passed. Okay, we have to explain this. Sick track. Personally, I find the kick transient a bit attack heavy. Kind of start feeling it a lot, especially later in the track. Yeah. Yeah, it can be the thing if you have this kind of heavy sub. You are, again, maybe you worked with a transient shaper and you added like a you added more volume on the transient, or you highlighted the transient a bit more. Of course, that can also cause that this kick transient is coming a bit too hard and too heavy. That's what I meant with missing information at 10 kilohertz. Yeah, this okay. Let's now get into this point. Maybe it's kind of this kick, low end thing. I said it's okay. Maybe that's causing a kind of problem. Would be something if you added that track to, for example, I would go with that. I think it sounds okay. But if I see, I would go into the mastering and I would try to lower down this sub a bit with the mastering. What is kind of possible, but it's not the best solution. Of course, if you deliver a balanced mix, it's always the best. But that's something I could, for example, try to do in the mastering, and that would be again, if you take something away from this side, you will add on the other side. So if you go down on 25 hertz with the low end, it can help out to to get a bit more higher frequency sounds, or that they're coming a bit better through the mix. But of course you can also add it in the mastering as well, just by exciters or something like that. That's not that big problem, but of course if you deliver a clean sounding mix, easiest way, so you can't make any mistakes. But that would be something I would do as a mastering engineer. I would listen to the track and I would check, is it possible to do it in a mastering? If not, I will play it back to the producer and say, look, here's the problem, do that and this, and then you will have the best sounding result. So yeah, maybe if you want to go again back to the project, maybe work on the low end again, try to lower down the volume maybe a bit. I don't know what would be good, and then maybe go also down with the kick a bit. If you have a transient shaper, that's fine. Or maybe you have to go down with the whole low end just a bit. But I think the sub could definitely go like, yeah, maybe like 1 dB or something. Could help out. Maybe a low shelf. Maybe, I don't know if you have already a low shelf, because they're always taking part on the live streams. Maybe you have also already worked with low shelf, but maybe you have to add a bit more. Or you have to take a bit more away in the low end with the low shelf, like maybe 1 dB, minus 1 dB, minus 2 dB, somewhere around this. Test it out, and then you don't need to push that transient that much. But yeah, all in all, like I said, it's a nice. I mean, the energy is getting transported. Still, you know, so I'm getting the vibe, I'm getting the energy. That's good. It make me move, and yeah. But I would really somehow change part 1 and 2, or add something else to part 2. Good. 10 minutes are over already, but I just want to get all the points. If you have any question, Pro, just ask. I'm just going to the next track to really not waste too much time. Ishan, I think you are here, right? Because I saw you on YouTube more than once. Right? I think so. I'm so confused. Andreas Bierreder 7940 and Andreas and Bierreder PA. Is it that both you, Bierreder? I think so. Nice, thanks again. Amazing feed, and thanks chat too. Yeah. Welcome. Ishan, where are you? Would love your feedback. Yeah, you will get it if you're here. Where are you? Give me a short hello or something in the chat just to let me know. Switched YouTube account. Yeah, I have also more than one. I have one for my daughter with Sandman and everything, and one from myself with a good algorithm, you know, without all these kids related stuff. I just switched to the professional one. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I was here 2 weeks back. Yeah, nice. Ishan, well, let's start with your track. Hello, Dennis. Also, this one is not proper mixes. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, saw you, mate. Okay, not proper mix. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Do you want to hear like? Okay, I will say something about the idea. I will also try to say something about the mix down. Let's get into the track. Low end is too heavy. Already, sub is way too heavy. These wave files. Brick walls. Yeah, definitely lower down the sub bass. Absolutely. Volume down. It was kind of like lag or something? Or was that just my internet connection? We'll come back to that, yeah? But had you also this, like, jump or something? Train is coming from far away. There's the jump, right? Yeah, I was super confused. Yeah, it's really hard to say something about the track in general. The low end is really like eating everything up in a way. Of course, I hear all the sounds, but somehow the energy is missing, you know, like completely, because everything is eaten up by the sub. Hard to say. So the sounds you have found and used in the track are good. So I think there is so much potential having a really, really nice tunnelish techno psychedelic kind of way track. So, you know, but the low end's really eating up everything. The rest is really hard to say something about the rest, because you would really need to fix the low end to have this. Yeah, to see the rest. I think the mids are way too loud then. So if you really go down, if you go down with the volume on the low end, you will definitely push the mid range. The mid range will get way too loud. And now already I can really hear that the sounds are peaking. So this laser beam, which is like shooting from right to left, and then god damn, like so the panning, like tough. Then there's this jump here. Clack, you heard that? Like there's like something cut it there, or something turned off, or I don't know. Yeah, hard to say something about the track properly. So low end, then check the mid range of the track. And also I would definitely say check mono compatibility. So check the correlation between sides and mid, because I think this laser beam sound is really like shooting from right to left, and if you turn it mono, I could imagine you can't hear it anymore properly. So would be good to check that as well. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think there was a bit of feedback in the chat as well. Thanks for sending your track. Keep going, my friend. And yeah, feel free to send more stuff into this loops. Wow, Ivan, you are so lucky. We have 20:59. So I will, because last week you have been skipped because you haven't taken part of you have not taken part of the live stream. And yeah, where are you? Yo, hi, you're so lucky. I said until 9, right? So I will keep my promise and we will do your track as the last track for today. Yeah, Hassan, see you hopefully very soon. kick is a bit too punchy, but that could be a problem because it's a bit too loud. So compared to the rest of the mix. Ooh, there are sounds which are peeking out. Spikes. And this pad could definitely need more air, and saturation would be something good on this pad. Sounds a bit dull, you know? I think you killed the snare a bit too much. Maybe it's on purpose because you wanted to have it like this, but could sound much like also a bit of body and the snare is missing. Ta, pa, 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 pa. It's really way too high sounding. More like this can still have this, but with a bit more body. Yeah, nice idea. Reminds me kind of serial sound stuff like Felix, Jonas, Landwehr. Yeah, the track sounds a bit bodiless. Yeah. This goes into this UK-ish vibe, you know? But if you want to have this UK-ish vibe, you definitely need bit bass, more bassy elements. I don't think you need that much bassline. Maybe you just add a bit. You just add a bit of the low end from the pad or something. Could be it. You can also work with a bassline. Maybe just a really classical one. You know, like really just like it's just really standard sinus wave or something really deep, like. Something like that, but it depends on you, however you want. I like the idea of the track, definitely, but there are a few things you really have to adjust in the mix. But I already said everything, I think, what I wanted to say about the track. Again, nice idea. I like it. So 21.5. You have still 4 minutes, so let's take the 4 minutes for like the rest. I think I said everything to Ivan's track. If you have a question, ask. Yeah. Until then, I will try to keep myself short. So again, thank you very much for your time, for your tracks. Lovely. Thank you everybody for contributing. We have still a few tracks on the list. I'm love to see that people are coming every week and joining these sessions. Great. Thank you very much for this one. Thanks for being brave enough to put your tracks. It's very important for your personal and development. Trust me, really, like, it's not about me or anything else. It's really like taking the next step with your productions, and I'm really here to try to help you out. And also absolutely the chat, lovely as always. They're always trying to give you proper feedback as well. You will get it here for sure. Lovely community, lovely respectful chat. Everything is really lovely. Thank you very much. Again, I just want to let you know, so I'm doing one-to-one sessions. If anybody's interested in doing one-on-one sessions, feel free to write me. I'm really taking 2 hours, maybe even more, to go through your projects and to maybe even explain a bit more than I have it here in the live stream. So if you're interested, just let me know. We can talk about everything else. For me personally, most of these one-to-one sessions, I would say 80% of them were shit and only 20% were helpful. But these 20%, they were so helpful. Really, they took me to really another levels, and I think that's very important. Just to let you know, still every Monday for free here on YouTube and on Instagram, feedback loop. So if you want to get a feedback, you will get it here every Monday. 10 minutes for everybody. You know the rules. If you want to get a proper feedback, like I said, write me. Until then, thank you very much again. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I would say I wish you a wonderful rest of the week, and stay healthy, stay positive, stay lovely, stay respectful, keep a focus on your things, keep the focus on the right things. Don't get lost into this whole shit. Really focus on yourself and your music and your development. That's the only thing that matters. Do whatever you like, how you like it, and like I said, try and error, do it, and you will make it. Just keep the focus on the right things. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you next week. Bye bye.